So we're going to do 11-2, areas of trapezoids, rhombi, and kites. So take a look at your formula sheet where it says trapezoid. Our formula is 1/2 h times b1 plus b2, where h is our height, b1 and b2 are our bases. I'd also like you to note that bases are the two sides that are parallel. So make sure you write that down. Area equals 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2. H is your height. B1 and B2 are your bases, and the bases are parallel. Remember, the bases B1 and B2 are not going to always be the same. Actually, they will never be the same distance. So you got to make sure you identify both of them. So we have, in our example here, our two examples here, we have a base and a base. And in this example, our height is outside. And then in this example, we have a base, and our height is inside. So I'm going to highlight all of our bases in purple and all of our heights in green. So you want to make note of that. In purple, I'm going to identify our bases. In green, I'm going to identify our height. The formula is also written right here. So let's take a look at this first one. We have our two bases. It doesn't matter which one you do first, top or bottom, which are 18 and 32. And we have a height of 16. This is the way it's going to look when we put it into our formula. Area equals 1/2. My height is 16. My bases are 18 and 32. So the way I like to do it is I like to take half of the height. Half of 16 is 8. I like to add my two bases, 18 plus 32, which is 50. And then multiply 8 times 50 to get 400. And remember, it's going to be our units squared. I made you write that bases are parallel because they aren't always the top and the bottom. In our next example, the two sides that are parallel are not exactly horizontal lines. They are vertical lines. And our height is horizontal. So it's always important to identify which sides are parallel. So again, area equals 1/2 my height. And then I add my two bases. Like I said earlier, I like to take half the height first. Find the sum of my bases. And then multiply just those two numbers. It avoids any error in the calculator. So 504 yards squared. The formula looks a lot more overwhelming than it really is. Let's try another one. bases. And my height. Area equals 1/2 my base times, 1/2 my height times the sum of my bases. One half of 20 is 10. 32 plus 50 is 82. 10 times 82 is 820. So now what I'd like you to do is pause the video, try D, E, and F on your own, and then when you are done, you can come back and check your answers. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going through them. This is another example where your bases are vertical and not horizontal. Half of 5 is not going to go in nicely. It'll be 2.5. 8 plus 15 is 23. It's going to leave us with a decimal. Flipping over to the next page, we have a little bit of a challenge problem. Ryan runs a landscaping business. New customer has a trapezoidal shaped backyard shown onto the right over here. This is his backyard. How many square feet of grass will Ryan have to mow? So again, we can identify the bases. Let me zoom in there for you. My top base is 20.5. My bottom base is going to be, this middle part will be 20.5 also, and then I have to add 5 and 5. So that will give me 30.5, this whole base. So this part is 20.5 from here to here. That's making it a rectangle will also be 20.5. So I'm going to add that 5 and 5 on each side. And then my height is given right here as 38 1/4 or 38.25. Decimals are easier to work with. So my area equals 1/2. We said my height is 38.25. My bases are 20.5 and 30.5. So go ahead and see if you can solve that. So you should get a little bit bigger of a decimal. 19.125. And 51. When you multiply those together, you get 975.375.